Hey everybody, I'm Lala. I use she, he, and they pronouns. I'm one of the co-chairs for the Youth Leadership Committee at Bagley.
Hi, I'm Julian Sear.
Hi Grace, it's me, your sister Daisy.
This is Reverend Robin G. White.
This year, our community is lucky to be celebrating the Boston Alliance of LGBTQ Youth's 40th anniversary. Bagley is a model in the nation for powerful youth-led advocacy for social justice. Grace Sterling Stowell has been there from the beginning.
And I'm so glad to be with all of you to recognize, honor, and celebrate Grace Sterling Stowell.
Grace to me is represented best by her character.
Grace's particular style is so humble, so thoughtful.
Her calm, kind, insightful leadership and deep commitment to supporting LGBTQ youth is incredible.
She has this unwavering ability to really get to the core of what an issue is, whether that's your problem or a problem in the community or elsewhere.
Before there were laws protecting LGBTQ youth, there was Grace.
And Grace loved Bagley. She came in 1981, and she never left.
Under Grace's direction, Bagley provides safe and supportive spaces for LGBTQ youth to grow and thrive.
Grace's love and leadership of Bagley has impacted 2 generations of queer women in my family.
I was a member of Bagley in 1980, its founding year.
When Bagley was just starting out, who knew that this organization would reach tens of thousands of young people and have the impact that it has had on young people, not only in Boston, but throughout the U.S.
Grace, she told us stories of what it meant for her to come out as herself and to find others like her for the first time.
Bagley was my first sense of belonging and community, the most diverse and inclusive group I've ever been part of.
I really didn't have a ton of openly queer people or POC at all. It was so pivotal for me to go to the Bagley prom every year.
I remember always being really excited for Youth Pride and Bagley prom and the opportunity to not just be myself, but also feel really celebrated.
Grace's advocacy, combined with the continuing leadership of LGBTQ youth, makes a difference in creating a better world for all queer people.
Grace has had a huge part in my leadership development.
I am the adult who I am in part because of my time in Bagley, and Grace was an important part of making that for me and has continued to do this for generations.
I'm just so glad to see that Grace is getting honored for all the hard work that she's been doing.
I am so grateful for Grace and for Bagley.
From your early days as GLAAD's second ever full-time employee to working side by side for the victorious Yes on 3 campaign for trans rights 2 years ago. GLAAD is proud and grateful to have you as a friend, partner, and collaborator.
Thank you, Grace, for all the support you've provided me with, all the opportunities you've connected me to, and for just believing in me.
More than 4 decades of advocacy have touched so many lives, inspired us all, and advanced equity and justice for our entire LGBTQ community.
I hope you realize how many young LGBTQ lives you have touched, that you've empowered, that you've inspired, lives that you've saved.
On behalf of all of us at GLAAD, I am thrilled to present you with the 2020 Spirit of Justice Award.
Congratulations on receiving the Spirit of Justice Award. It's an honor well deserved.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the accolades and compliments of all of those people in the community that really and genuinely love you like I do.
Congratulations, Grace. You deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much for your kind words. I am truly honored to be receiving this recognition tonight. And thank you so much to JD and everyone at GLAAD, including my wonderful friend and colleague, Jansen Wu, the board of directors, the Spirit of Justice co-chairs, and all of you for honoring me tonight. It is such a privilege to receive this award from an organization that I love and respect, and whose work has made such an incredible impact in fighting for justice for our communities. And I am so honored to join the many remarkable people who have received this award before me. Their accomplishments and GLAAD's have helped make our world safer, healthier, and more just for all of us. It is especially exciting to be honored during Bagley's 40th anniversary year. Bagley, the Boston Alliance of LGBTQ Youth, was founded in 1980 by youth activists, including GLAAD's very own senior attorney, Ben Klein, as a social support, leadership, and advocacy organization led by and for LGBTQ youth. Now, 4 decades later, we are celebrating the accomplishments of over 40,000 youth leaders and their adult allies in helping to make Massachusetts a better place for the young people of all our communities. GLAAD was founded in 1978, just 2 years earlier than Bagley, and so it has always felt a bit to me like our sibling organization, our slightly older sibling. We've grown up together in community, in advocacy, in partnership, and in our commitment to justice. And GLAAD has always been a fierce advocate for LGBTQ youth. For example, one of GLAAD's earliest clients was Aaron Frick, a high school student from Cumberland, Rhode Island, who wanted to bring another boy to his junior prom. His school wouldn't allow it, and so GLAAD stepped in. Represented by GLAAD's founder, the pioneering legal advocate John Ward, Aaron won in federal court just in time for Aaron to go to the prom with his date Paul, where they celebrated by dancing the night away with their friends. In response to all the publicity surrounding this case, GLAAD was soon flooded with letters from LGBTQ youth asking for advice and support, or just wanting to tell their coming out stories. The letters piled up, and GLAAD, which was all volunteer then, needed help getting responses out in the mail. This was long before the days of email. Bagley, which was also all volunteer then, sent a group of youth to GLAAD's office. I remember this very well. And we stuffed envelopes and licked stamps to make sure that all those young people knew that they were not alone. That's just one of many times that Bagley and GLAAD have collaborated over the years. Just a couple of years ago, Jansen and I represented our respective organizations on the executive committee of the Massachusetts Yes on 3 campaign, a coalition of organizations working to defend our state's non-discrimination vote against a nasty ballot campaign that was trying to take away legal protections for transgender people in the state. We won. And as a queer, non-binary, trans feminine woman who was a lifelong resident of Massachusetts, I was so proud to see GLAAD and all of our allied organizations stepping up to ensure that people like me have the support, resources, and protections that we need and deserve. Before I close, I would like to share a couple of more personal connections to GLAAD. The first, which some of you may know, is that I was GLAAD's second full-time employee when I was hired in the role of office manager from 1986 to 1993. It was a great opportunity for me to work with some super smart people and learn about community advocacy and nonprofit management from the inside out. And it also served as a valuable experience for me when I became Bagley's first executive director a few years later. My second connection is a story that I've rarely told in public before, and one that might come with a trigger warning. As a visibly queer and trans young person growing up outside of Boston in the 1960s and 1970s, I was a target for physical and sexual harassment, assault, and violence from those who are threatened just because of who I am. After I graduated from high school and college, I found support and friends in the queer community in Boston and at Bagley. And soon I was running around the city, hanging out in the bars, the streets, and late night cafes. One night in December of 1982, my friends and I went to the midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the old Exeter Street Theater in Boston. Afterwards, at 2 a.m, we were looking for something to eat, and with most of our usual places filled to capacity, we ended up at an IHOP in Brookline. As the waitstaff walked us to our table, we realized that it was a very drunken, rowdy crowd that night, and soon we were getting whistles, catcalls, and derogatory slurs from all sides. It wasn't anything we hadn't heard or dealt with before, but even so, we decided we wouldn't stay long, and so I went to the restroom to touch up my hair and makeup before we left. Almost as soon as I was in the restroom, 2 young guys followed me in and started harassing me. They called me names and threatened me, and then they physically attacked me. They hit my head and my body and continued punching me until I fell to the floor. They dragged me across the bathroom through a door to the stalls, and then suddenly stopped and ran out of the restroom and the restaurant. I was stunned and was bleeding, bruised, and had broken teeth. After I was able to stand up, I walked out of the restroom and into the restaurant. As my friends ran over to me, another customer said, "Well, if you hadn't been such a fag." The police officer on duty had caught the guys outside and taken them into the station. And when they asked me to get in the squad car to go to identify them, I did. But then I overheard another officer calling in on his radio saying that a faggot had just got beaten up. After leaving the station, I didn't get any medical attention, mostly because I was afraid to go to the emergency room and receive more bad treatment. But my friends took care of me and made sure that I got home safely. We had no hate crime law back then or any specific legal protections based on sexual orientation or gender identity. This wasn't the first time I'd been beaten up, nor was it the last, but all the other times I'd sucked it up and told myself that this was just the way it is. This was the first time that I did something about it. There was going to be a trial and I had to testify. I knew I needed advice and support, and so I called GLAAD. The late Jan Plattner, an attorney who was on GLAAD's board, took my call and met with me. She walked me through my options, helped me understand what to expect both legally and publicly, and gave me moral support. I went to court with my mother and my friends. And after hearing testimony from both sides, including the guys who attacked me claiming that they had acted in self-defense because I had threatened them with my hairspray, the judge found them guilty. They appealed, and so 6 months later, we showed up in court again and testified again, and they were found guilty and ordered to pay a small sum for restitution and were placed on probation. And so, like so many others in our community, that's my story of how GLAAD helped me. It took me a long time to heal, especially emotionally, but GLAAD was there for me when I needed them. And they're an important part of my being here and doing the work that I do today. In these challenging times, our community needs organizations like GLAAD and Bagley more than ever, and your support continues to make that possible. The current federal administration has brought a new level of attention to our issues by attacking those who are most vulnerable, including Black and Brown and other people of color, LGBT folks, especially trans and non-binary people, immigrants and refugees, people experiencing economic challenges such as food and housing insecurities, and so many more. It is up to us to defend and protect our communities, as we always have throughout all of our history. We create safe and brave spaces. We support and develop leadership. We advocate for change. We fight in the courts, and we march for justice in the streets. This is the shared commitment of our organizations and our communities, and that is why I am so honored and humbled to be receiving this award tonight. Thank you so very much for supporting GLAAD and for honoring me with this recognition, and I truly could not be more appreciative and grateful. Thank you.